Right now, somewhere in a modern hospital, a woman is giving birth with an epidural, a team of trained doctors, sterile equipment, every drug and tool that 2 centuries of medical science has produced, and it is still one of the most dangerous things a human body can do. Now, remove all of that, remove the hospital, remove the doctors, remove the drugs, remove the sterile room, remove everything. You're in the African savanna. It is 200,000 years ago. There is no medicine, no training, no tools designed for this moment. The nearest thing to a doctor is a woman who has done this before and survived. And somehow, every single one of your ancestors made it through. This is the story of how ancient humans survived childbirth. And the answer is going to permanently change how you think about the female body, the human community, and what modern medicine accidentally broke when it tried to improve on 200,000 years of evolution. Let's start with the problem, because the problem is enormous. Human childbirth is uniquely dangerous compared to every other primate on Earth. A chimpanzee gives birth alone, in silence, in under an hour, with almost no risk of complications. She does not need help. She never has. Her baby slides out facing backward, away from her body, requiring almost no assistance. Human babies are different, catastrophically different. About 2 million years ago, our ancestors started walking upright. This reshaped the pelvis into a narrow channel optimized for walking. At the same time, the human brain was growing. Fast, bigger brains meant bigger heads, and bigger heads, trying to pass through a narrower pelvis, created what evolutionary biologists call the obstetric dilemma. The human baby's head is almost exactly the same size as the birth canal it has to pass through. The margins are so tight that the baby has to rotate 3 times during delivery, entering the canal facing sideways, rotating to face backward, then rotating again to emerge facing downward. No other primate does this. No other primate needs to. And unlike a chimpanzee birth where the baby faces away from the mother and she can guide it out herself, a human baby emerges facing away from the mother, making self-delivery almost impossible without assistance. This is not a minor design flaw. This is a fundamental biological vulnerability that has been killing human mothers and babies for 2 million years. So how did any of us survive? The answer is one word, and it is not medicine, it is not technology, it is not intelligence, it is women. Specifically, it is a system that anthropologists now call cooperative breeding, and it is the most sophisticated biological safety net any species has ever developed. In every hunter-gatherer society ever studied, birth was never a private event. It was never something a woman did alone. It was always, without a single documented exception, a communal act, performed by a group of experienced women working together with a precision that modern researchers describe as breathtaking. Anthropologist Wenda Trevathan at New Mexico State University spent decades studying birth across human cultures and our closest primate relatives. Her conclusion was direct. Human birth requires assistance not because something went wrong in evolution, but because something went right. The need for help during birth is not a flaw. It is a feature. It bound human communities together in a way that no other biological event could. The moment a woman's labor began, the entire female network of the camp mobilized, not casually, not as observers. As a precision team with clearly defined roles, there was always one woman who served as the primary birth attendant. Not a doctor, but a woman who had attended dozens of births, who knew the signs of normal labor and dangerous labor by instinct, who had memorized through years of observation exactly what a healthy delivery looked like, and exactly when something was going wrong. Around her were 2 or 3 other experienced women, one whose sole job was to support the laboring woman physically, holding her, positioning her body, helping her move, one to manage warmth, water, and the immediate environment, one to watch and learn. Because this knowledge had to survive into the next generation or the whole system collapsed, the laboring woman herself was almost never lying flat on her back. That position, the one used in almost every modern hospital birth until very recently, is biomechanically one of the worst positions for human delivery. It narrows the birth canal by up to 30% and works against gravity. Ancient women gave birth uprights, squatting, kneeling, supported in a semi-standing position. Gravity became an ally. The birth canal opened to its maximum width. The baby's rotation happened more naturally. Anthropologists who studied traditional birth practices found this pattern on every continent. Upright birth, community support, experienced attendance. A precise choreography refined over hundreds of thousands of years of trial and catastrophic error, and it worked, not perfectly. Human childbirth was still dangerous, but it worked well enough to produce 8 billion of us. But the community was not just there for the birth itself. The weeks before and the months after were equally critical. In every hunter-gatherer society ever studied, there is a period surrounding birth, where the entire community restructures itself around the mother and newborn. The best food goes to the nursing mother first. Her workload drops to almost nothing. Other women in the camp take turns holding, carrying, and caring for the infant, giving the mother rest while keeping the baby in constant human contact. Anthropologists call these other caregivers alloparents, and the role they play is not optional comfort. It is biological necessity. Human infants are born more neurologically undeveloped than any other primate. A baby chimpanzee is born with motor skills, roughly equivalent to a human baby at 3 months old. The human baby is born early, forced out before the brain grows too large to pass through the birth canal, and spends the first year of life completing development that every other primate finishes in the womb. This means a human infant requires a level of constant care and physical contact that is biologically impossible for one person to provide alone. The human baby was never designed to have one caregiver. It was designed to have many. Anthropologist Sarah Blaffer-Hrdy at the University of California, Davis spent 30 years studying this. Her conclusion was that cooperative childcare is not a cultural nicety. It is the biological foundation of human intelligence. The reason human babies grow such large brains after birth is precisely because they are held, stimulated, and cared for by multiple experienced adults simultaneously. The social input is not background noise. It is the signal: remove the alloparents. Give the mother one support person instead of 12. Isolate the birth in a private room. Send the new mother home after 2 days to recover alone, and then wonder why postpartum depression affects 1 in 5 mothers in the modern world. There's one more thing. One piece of the ancient birth system so counterintuitive that when researchers first documented it, they assumed it was cultural. Then they found it on every continent, in every society, across every period of human history they could access. The grandmother, in every hunter-gatherer society, the most critical person in the birth room, was not the primary attendant. It was the oldest woman present, the grandmother or the woman who had passed menopause. She was not there to give birth. She had not given birth in years or decades. She was there because she had seen more births than anyone, because she carried in her memory a library of every complication, every variation, every crisis, and its resolution that the community had ever faced. Evolutionary biologist Kristen Hawkes at the University of Utah spent years studying what she called the grandmother hypothesis. Her data showed that the presence of a post-menopausal grandmother improved infant survival rates by a margin so significant that it directly explains why human women are the only female primate that lives for decades past the end of their reproductive years. We do not stop reproducing because our bodies wear out. We stop reproducing so that we can pour our remaining decades into the survival of our grandchildren. The grandmother is not retirement. The grandmother is the apex of the entire system. And in the modern world, we put her in a different city. We call her on video chat from the delivery room. We tell the laboring woman that she is fine, that she has a doctor, that she does not need the old knowledge. And then we are surprised when the numbers do not add up. When maternal mortality in the United States is higher than in 46 other countries, despite having the most advanced obstetric technology on Earth. When the addition of a single trained support person reduces emergency cesarean rates by 40%. We did not invent something better than what ancient humans had. We invented something faster, something that saves lives in genuine emergencies, something extraordinary in its own right. But we forgot the part that was not about emergency, the part that was about community, the part that 200,000 years of human evolution built not in the hospital, but in the circle of women around the fire, holding each other up in the dark, doing together what no single person was ever designed to do alone. The ancient human woman who gave birth 200,000 years ago did not survive because she was tough. She survived because she was never alone, and neither were you, even if you have forgotten it.